I just got home from a hangout with a bunch of people, 10 of us, we each brought $25. We all knew what we would want and added all up and a tip for the delivery driver to pull together for food. Everything was great until it was time to order for food. I was in the bathroom when they started and by the time I got out they had ordered all they wanted. I told the host what I wanted, a medium ultimate cheese lovers pizza, an order of breadsticks and 3 extra marinara sauce from Pizza Hut. It came to $21.88. I made sure it was under the $25 I brought. The host then looked at me and said we didn't have enough and I would have to not get the breadsticks and extra sauce. When asked why as I was under what I brought, they informed me that John had added a dessert to his order last minute and that had put him past his $25. When I asked why he going over his limit made me have to change my order and get less food, I was told, "It's not a big deal, you still get your pizza." I didn't order any food and just took my $25 back and left, which made them have not enough for the tip. The host and a couple of the people are now bitching at me for not only ruining the atmosphere of the hangout, but also making the host pay more out of pocket because they had to cover the tip as I took my money back. Not the a-hole. The person going over the $25 limit is the only person who should have gotten chewed out. Also, these selfish people are not being your friends. They tried to use you and got mad when you wouldn't be used. Seriously, the other person should have at least paid for the amount they went over, so no one else's order was affected. Good on OP for tipping, not the a-hole. This would be the logical choice. And as much of a pain in the arse as it is sometimes, this is why separate checks are a thing in restaurants. Not to mention they were already rude by ordering while OP was in the bathroom and just assuming they'd be the ones to sacrifice for them. Plus, if John went over his $25, that means he also chose to eat into the server's tip. Not just eat into OP's budget. So he was already being more than selfish. That should have made the group censure him before OP even made it back to the table. Not the a-hole. It's so painfully obvious that John should have coughed up more money to pay for his food. Him saying that you still got your pizza, as though it was no problem he jacked money from you, makes him the a-hole. Your friends suck here too, they should have stopped John or told him to pay up. How they're treating you is shitty. John is definitely at fault for going over in the first place. Best case, he stole from the tip jar and he knew it. But it isn't clear that he knew the host decided to rob OP on his behalf. Edit. OP says he did know. Not the a-hole. The person who ordered more food when he didn't have money should have just pitched in extra money, was that suggested? I did suggest that, but it was shot down almost immediately because John is in between jobs and I guess $25 was already too much. Wow. Then he goes without dessert. Someone without a job shouldn't even be spending $25 at a party to begin with. Let alone $25 plus someone else's money. My girlfriend, 30, is currently 4.5 months pregnant and we're living together. My ex-wife, 32, and I, 30, just barely finalized our divorce. It was a pretty messy ending. She had an affair, we separated. Around that time I spent more time with a close friend of mine, now my girlfriend, I've known for years. Months later, realized we had feelings and pursued a relationship. When I filed for divorce, my ex spun the story and flipped it on me. No one in my family believed her except for my sister, 28. And that was due to them being best friends. Throughout the whole ordeal my sister took my ex's side, wouldn't stop bothering me about working things out with my ex since she's given me a chance after what I did to her. She was even more vicious to my girlfriend for absolutely no reason. Attacking her on social media, calling her a homewrecker. Myself and my family had to talk to her many times and I cut contact for a while. Then when we found out she was pregnant, my sister's first reaction was, "Congrats on your affair, baby." She texted that to me from a different number because I have her blocked and knew it was her. A week ago my mom told me my sister wanted to speak to me. She apologized for everything. Admitted she was completely immature and coming from a place of anger toward me because she's been with my ex as a support, has been her shoulder to cry on, so she felt protective of her. During the same discussion, my sister mentioned needing some place to stay, so not only was she hoping we could make amends, but also wanted to know if it was possible to stay at our place. Suddenly her apology didn't seem too sincere to me and I said no. Especially not with how she treated my girlfriend. My mom is urging me to do this because my sister needs some place to stay and it could be a way for her and my girlfriend to get to know each other better. And I can't blame my sister for her reaction when she was just believing my ex's lies. My sister is begging me to help her out and promises she'll be courteous to my girlfriend. My girlfriend think if I trust my sister then she'll go along with what I think is best. But honestly I don't and wouldn't want to put my girlfriend in that position. Since I've doubled down on my decision everyone thinks I'm being too hard on her for believing someone else's lies and now refusing to help her. I feel like suddenly I'm the only sane one here since everyone seems to be bothered by this, especially my sister who won't let it go. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole, she should have believed her brother over some witch that cheated on you. Like you, I wouldn't put, if I was a guy, my pregnant GF in that situation. Stress can be bad for a baby. That's my concern. Exactly. I'd tell her you're willing to start talking with her again, but not the moving in portion. If she doesn't accept that, then you do know she was only apologizing to get a place to stay. Not the a-hole. Look, your sister's realization of how bad she's acted and her need to stay with you is just a coincidence, not. She apologized for one reason only, she needs a place to stay. If you let her stay she'll soon resort to her old ways. If she needs a place to stay why not ask OP's ex since they are best of friends? Not the a-hole. Or the mother who seems to think sister is such a great person. Info, and she can't stay with your mom because. Also why can't she stay with OP's ex her best friend? I, 35, and my husband, 39, hereafter DH, have 3 boys, 5, 2, baby. Our older boys share a bedroom, which can get quite messy if we don't have time to coach them to put things away. My mother-in-law bought plastic milk crates for us to use as storage in their room to help keep things more manageable, and they do help. Background, my in-laws live in a separate house on mine and DH's, property. My mother-in-law comes over mid-morning most days to do story time with the boys. She has a history of not respecting boundaries. We hadn't had any big issues in a couple of months. On Tuesday she came over and the boys were playing in their room and it was a wreck. We hadn't had them straighten up all weekend because we, DH, father-in-law, and I, had been working on major household projects all weekend and Monday had been an insane day. She came into the office where my husband and I were working and said I'm making it a rule. I interrupted her right there and said you don't get to make rules in our house. Halfway through saying this, I started to think I might have jumped on her too quickly. What if she wanted to say that she wouldn't do story time if their room wasn't clean, a reasonable response. She then says, well, I'm going to start handing out punishments because the crates I bought are not toys to be used as building blocks, and I'm sick of their room being so messy. I respond, first off, I'm the one that stacked the crates together off to the side because they were taking up too much room on the floor and we haven't had the time to make them clean up yet. Second, this is our house and we'll hand out any punishments as we deem fit, not you. BH jumped in at this point and more diplomatically, but firmly told her that he understands her frustration, but that the boys are too young to be expected to keep their room clean by themselves and we haven't been on them to keep up. He also told her she has no right to just walk into our house, lay down rules, and hand out punishments. We also informed her that she can cancel story time if she sees fit but that's it. She hung around a bit and hovered as DH started coaching the boys on the cleanup and she huffed off in a temper when DH didn't jump on our oldest immediately for perceived defiance. When DH and I talked later, he said he understood why I reacted the way I did, but he thought I jumped on her too quickly and ratcheted up the tenor of the conversation before it was completely necessary, and in future, it might make things easier if I lean back and give her enough rope to hang herself, rather than jerking her up short as soon as she puts a toe over the line. So, am I the a-hole for jumping on her case so quickly? Your husband knows what's up. He presented the situation reasonably and calmly and offered a suggestion on how to deal with his mother in the future. You're not the a-hole, and neither is he. If anything, he sounds like he is on your side, just asking you to take a slightly more moderate approach next time. Yup, he's the best. Having him makes dealing with her a minor annoyance most of the time. Not the a-hole. The audacity to come into your space as adults and treat you like children on top of trying to punish your actual children over a little clutter that is natural when you have young uns. Soft boundaries are easier to push than hard ones. If your husband wants to play the infinite pushback game, he can do it when it doesn't involve you and your kids. He deals with her and backs me up, so I don't have to be the evil daughter-in-law. She does try to treat us like children who have greatly disappointed her, but we shut that crap down. I share 2 sons, 11 and 7, with my ex. He left me for his wife 3 years ago. They got married right after the divorce. I mention this because there are some tensions present due to this, and also due to the fact my former in-laws and I got along so well and have not been welcoming toward ex's new wife. So anyway, ex and his wife put the boys in football and a church thing on their time. Ex actually signed them up for all the time, but neither boy likes those activities. Ex says in his house they must do them. I say fine, but they won't do them with me. Ex's wife is the one with the biggest issue with my decision. She is very religious and believes boys should play sports and attend church. About a week ago my oldest was picking up a certificate from one of his chosen extracurriculars, and me, ex and his wife were there, while ex's parents and sister were outside waiting to celebrate. Ex's wife starts telling the boys that they need to do the church thing that Saturday afternoon whether they like it or not, which was my parenting time not ex's, and that they need to sign up for some other stuff for football which also fell on my parenting time. When we go outside, without the boys, they were with ex. I told her she did not get to make rules or demands in my home, and she better not do that again the way she did. Ex's family backs me up and say she's not their parent, etc. She gets super pissed at me for doing that around them, and then when ex finds out he tells me I'm an a-hole and should have waited and discussed it after. I told him I only care about the boys not hearing. And that he needs to nip that shit in the bud if he doesn't want stuff like that to happen again. She told me I made it even harder for their family to get along now, and I should be ashamed. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole, it's your home, and something the kids don't even want to do. Like I could understand if she was trying to get you to take them to a doctor's appointment or something, but just to some BS that only she gives a shit about. No. She can stuff it. Plus she did it in front of the in-laws, so it should be dealt with in the same manner. She needs to butt the hell out of parenting those kids. She's not a parent and has zero rights in this matter. Not the a-hole. They obviously don't have any boundaries if they were okay with cheating and starting a marriage over your misery. It's not surprising that she feels entitled to overstep your parenting as well. I'm just wondering, what kind of religious person is okay with stealing another woman's husband though? The kind who believes she saved him from the big bad atheist who was only going to damn him when he dies. And I know this because she has tried to interfere when ex asked me to get the boys baptized, and I said no. Because I don't consent to that shit.